Emmanuel had always been careful. Not careful in life, exactly, but careful in how others perceived him. By the time he was 32, single in Lagos, whispers had begun. Relatives asked, neighbors commented, family friends hinted. "You're old enough now. When will you settle?" The pressure was relentless. A subtle, suffocating fog. Every family gathering ended with, "You can't stay single forever." Every cousin's wedding was a reminder that he was late, somehow failing at life itself. Emmanuel believed he had time. He had ambition. He had plans. A career that demanded focus, travel, discipline. He told himself love would come naturally when the right person arrived. But society, subtle and insistent, had its own plan. One evening, at a wedding reception, he met Abiola. She was different from anyone he had imagined marrying. Ambitious, confident, sharp. She laughed easily. She charmed everyone around her. Emmanuel liked her, but he did not love her yet, not fully. By the next week, relatives began nudging. "You met someone? She seems nice." By the next month, the pressure had sharpened into a weapon. "You have to marry soon," his mother said, eyes fierce, "or you will regret waiting." Emmanuel began to convince himself. Fear settled into his chest. He feared shame. He feared gossip. He feared being the man everyone quietly pitied. He did not fear that love was missing. Within 3 months, wedding plans were underway. Emmanuel moved quickly because slow would appear indecisive, and in Nigeria, indecision is often considered weakness. The wedding was grand, colorful, lavish, full of smiles that concealed judgment. Emmanuel wore a suit pressed to perfection. Abiola glowed in white lace. Guests whispered, some praising, some noting subtle imperfections. He married. He followed tradition perfectly. He did everything expected of him: bride price, gifts, church blessings, family photos. And then reality arrived, not as a storm, but as a slow drip. The first months were not dramatic. No arguments, no cheating, no betrayal. But Emmanuel began noticing small fractures. Abiola never shared her thoughts about his career. Decisions about money, trips, friends, she made them alone. He noticed her disappointment when he suggested small changes at home. She said nothing. She smiled, but her eyes were distant. When he wanted to spend time together, she declined politely. "I'm tired, you understand." He did. He believed he should understand. That was part of being a husband. The first year passed. Emmanuel tried harder. More dates, more gifts, more attention. She appreciated it, but her heart was elsewhere. Not in malice, not in rebellion, simply elsewhere. By the second year, arguments began, but they were strange. Minor disagreements escalated silently. He noticed she no longer laughed at his jokes. She no longer shared dreams. She began referencing a life that included him, but not with him. Emmanuel felt it, but he ignored it. "I married her," he told himself. "This is normal adjustment." By the third year, the truth was undeniable. Abiola had grown into someone Emmanuel did not recognize, or someone he had never truly met. Her priorities, values, even the way she spoke had shifted, and he could see it clearly now. He had married a person shaped by expectations, by timing, by fear, by pressure, not by choice. He wanted to confront it. He tried. Arguments were polite, careful, but each attempt ended with her calm explanations. "People grow. We've grown differently." Those words were worse than shouting. They contained no malice, only the silent execution of their marriage. Emmanuel realized that he had married not out of love, but out of fear. Fear of shame, fear of judgment, fear of being too late. And fear, he learnt, makes a shallow foundation. By the 5th year, divorce papers were ready. He signed them with trembling hands. No fight, no scandal, No dramatic confession, just reality, orderly and merciless. The people who had pushed him to marry nodded politely. Better now than later, they said. Emmanuel walked away with nothing broken but his heart. The world saw him as a man who had married and moved on. But inside, he understood the brutal truth. He had married a life, not a love. He obeyed society, not himself. At night, alone in his apartment, he replayed every whispered comment, every subtle nudge, every look of judgment that had forced him into this choice. He realized that the greatest betrayal had been self-inflicted. He had sacrificed his chance at authentic love for the comfort of approval. And in that silence, he learnt the most painful lesson. Timing matters more than tradition. Choice matters more than pressure. Fear is the cruelest partner of all. The moral lessons for this story is that marrying under pressure is a shortcut to regret. External approval does not equal personal readiness. Fear-driven decisions destroy authentic love. Timing matters as much as compatibility. Obedience to societal expectations can erode personal happiness. Silent compromises early in marriage can turn into irreparable distance. Emotional readiness is more important than financial or social preparation. If you love stories like this, like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more stories like this to come your way. Bye!